Welcome to the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. Now, whether you're one of the hundreds of thousands of women experiencing hair loss for any number of reasons, or if you're curious and want to check out what alternative hair is all about, you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Deborah. I am a certified alternative hair specialist, educator, and the co-creator of a one-of-a-kind, shame-free, stigma-free alternative hair boutique called Very Best Little Hair House, and that's where the magic happens. That's where I help women and men like you find the alternative hair that brings their inner beauty out. We take over where genetics or Mother Nature dropped the ball and help you find and wear the alternative hair that makes you feel vibrant. I've made it my business to discover all there is to know about good wigs and toppers, and I love to talk about them. It's not just hair. It's so much more than that. This is about feeling complete, and if alternative hair is the way for you to do that, I got you covered. Yeah, it sucks when you see your scalp shining through your hair, but you know what? There is joy in finding the right alternative hair, trust me. It can be overwhelming at first. I mean, where do you start? Wig, topper? Oh my God, will somebody know? What if my wig falls off? First of all, take a deep breath, I got you covered. This podcast addresses all things alternative hair. It's not always as easy as just finding a wig and putting it on, so I'm going to give you a tell-it-like-it-is viewpoint from what I see firsthand. I've been through it all: stress, hair loss, alopecia, chemo. So I started my own journey about 20 years ago, and at that time I had nobody to talk to or get advice from, so I am here for you. And I can tell you this, even on my best natural hair day, I never looked or felt as confident as I do in my alternative hair. And now, after 5 years of helping people in my shop get over that fear and get out there, I am bringing this to you to inspire, empower, and educate you. It's simple. When you look good, you feel even better. And if alternative hair is part of that confidence, who cares if you grew it or if you bought it? Forget your grandma's wig and prepare to look red carpet gorgeous. Time to end this shame and stigma. Life is too short not to love who you are, and I want you to get excited about the possibilities. So grab your headphones, feel the love I am sending your way, and let's do this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. This is Deborah Heim from Very Best Little Hair House, and this week I am going to cover the basics of getting a human hair wig. Now, there is quite a bit involved with it. This week is just going to give you the very bare bones basics, and with any type of wig, you can do all the research in the world, but really, until you get it on your head, to me, that is the ultimate test. It's just like shoes or jeans. I say it all the time. You can know your size, you can try it on, but until you take it and work it day to day, that's when you really experience the fine tuning. And everybody wants to get it perfect going out of the box, and most of the time it just doesn't happen that way. Like I said, there is learning curve that really happens when you wear it, but hopefully I can give you some tips and help you avoid some of those errors. And avoiding trial and error is one of the best reasons to call me for a consult, because 1 hour with me, either online or in my shop, I will do my best to save you from tons of trial and errors. I set my shop up and my practice up to educate you as we go along. I know the questions to ask that will help you decide between styles and between human hair and synthetic. And that is just one of the things I do at a consult. So a lot of people come through the door and they tell me they want human hair, and generally it's because they have been convinced that you cannot look natural in a synthetic wig. And that simply is not true with the right synthetic. And I did an episode about that early on in this podcast. So you may want to refer to that for the reasons why I actually almost prefer synthetics to human hair, at least for your everyday workaday wig. And certainly you want to be, in my opinion, a more experienced wig wearer before you venture into human hair. My first human hair wig, I saved up for a long time because I wanted one really bad. I got a good wig, and at the time where I shopped, another reason I opened my shop, is they couldn't really give me directions on shampooing a wig. And I think most people are like me, under the impression that you can just wash it, dry it. And although you can't be doing that every day. Anytime you wash a wig, it's wear and tear on a wig. So especially with the human hair, you want to learn the process and use the best products so that it will indeed last. I have had a lot of clients that come to me that think that if they get a human hair wig, then they will be able to just keep it on their head, take showers, swim in it, sleep in it, and you can do that, but you're going to tear up a lot of wigs and go through a lot of wigs really quickly, so I don't advise it. Now, it is true, human hair is a lot more versatile than most of your synthetics because, let's just face it, human hair is human hair, especially if you get the good human hair. It also tends to last longer than synthetics. That is just a fact. But I think that part of the reason is when you spend a lot of money on a human hair wig, you are going to take better care of it just because of the price of investment. I really think that has something to do with it. Some of the cons that may not come to mind when you're buying a human hair wig is they will react to the environment. Nobody told me this as well, and I got a really good virgin Remy human hair. So excited about it. I left the house on a hot day. My hair had been all sleek and straightened. Within a couple hours, I had frizz just like I did back when I had a full head of hair in high school. And I called Chris and I'm like, wow, my wig got really frizzy. And he was like, well, duh, it's human hair. And yes, although I had worn wigs for a long time and now I have a wig shop, at the time it didn't occur to me that human hair does react to the environment. So that's one of the beauties of the synthetics. I remember spending 2 hours on my existing bio hair only to go out, get rained on, get frizzed out. Well, when you have a good synthetic on, part of the joy is you know you're going to be weatherproof. When you are buying human hair, you want to make sure that you are getting it from an ethical source. If you only knew all of the places that human hair comes from, you might think twice about buying a human hair wig. And nobody talks about this because everybody wants human hair and it is so popular and also so expensive, not just because it's harder to produce, but because of the demand for it. So again, by educating, I definitely encourage you to get a good human hair wig. One of my favorite things is how the hair feels when it moves against your skin, especially in a long wig. But make sure you know the person that you are buying from, whether it's a company or whether it is one of the beautiful independent wig makers on Facebook. Quite a few people are starting their own business that know how to build wigs from scratch. And that's the number one thing when you're buying a human hair wig. Do you know the person or the company that you're buying from? There are so many places out there that will tell you they're selling you human hair, but really you want to make sure that you trust who you're giving your money to. If you put human hair wig in the search bar, you will get all kinds of results. And you really want to read what comes up carefully because some of the descriptions that they get to get their result in front of you, it's almost like a word salad. You want to be aware of the word real because that does not necessarily mean that the hair came from a human. So that's the first thing. You definitely want to see the words 100% human hair. You also want to try and see if you can see where the hair comes from. Most of the hair comes from India and China. That's your most popular source, but there also is European hair, which tends to be more expensive. The other word that you want to try and look for is Remy. However, the word Remy alone does not mean anything about the grade of hair. Remy is actually how the hair is processed. On hair, the outer layer is called the cuticle, and if the hair on a wig is not lined up with all the cuticles going in the same way, you will get excessive tangling, and that can be avoided if the hair is collected going all in one direction. For example, like a donated ponytail that is made to give to the wig makers. One of the words that is always good to see is virgin. When you see virgin human hair, it should be 100% human hair with no processing whatsoever. And that means it's going to be in your natural colors. So when you see 100% virgin human hair, often the colors are brown or black, and that's just because it's the most common. Now, virgin versus Remy. Not all hair that is sold as Remy is virgin. So you want to make sure, especially if you're planning on coloring it, which is a whole nother subject that we need to talk about. When you get a human hair wig, coloring it is something that is best done left to a professional. Two of them that I recommend, Natalie from Strands and Fireflies Alternative Hair Studio has done quite a bit of work for me, and she doesn't know I'm mentioning her in this podcast, but she is like a magician with human hair, so definitely check her out. She does custom color work, and I highly recommend her. She can also help you find a reputable human hair wig. She has both an Instagram and a Facebook page and group. Another wonderful human hair wig maker is In Vogue Medical Wigs and Beyond, which I mentioned on the insurance episode of the podcast. So please check her out. Always, I follow both of these ladies and they have some stunning designs. And by all means, that is not everybody out there. There are so many wonderful alternative hair makers, including both the smaller artist type makers, such as In Vogue Medical Wigs and Beyond, and some of your bigger companies. One of my favorite companies for human hair is the one and only John Renault. John Renault has set the standard, as far as I'm concerned, for better human hair in the major wig lines, and they have a line of their human hair called Renault Naturals, which means that that hair can be colored by a professional. But since we're back on that, both coloring and care of your human hair wig is best done by a professional. Now, you certainly can learn to do it yourself, but knowing that there's experts out there makes me happy. I let Natalie take care of my wigs, and I have them going on for 3 to 4 years now, and they still look great. But if you do get a human hair wig, you are going to need to follow the instructions. If it's from a major manufacturer, I always suggest going by the manufacturer's guidelines. But if you do get a human hair wig, you're going to have to give it extra care. You're going to need a canvas blockhead, which you can find on Amazon, because when you wash the hair, you let it air dry, but to get the shine and to style it again, you will need the canvas head to place the wig on to style it. So that is one extra step that nobody told me when I got one, so I am passing that along to you. But as far as care of human hair wigs, again, many, many tutorials out there. I know Natalie has several, but just know that when you are making that investment, that it is also more of an investment in time, and you want to make sure that you know how to make your investment last. So if you are going to do human hair, yay, I'm excited for you, but just make sure you do it right. I will tell you, I often see the mistake of people that are convinced they want human hair just because they're thinking it's going to look more natural. I see more bad human hair at inflated prices than there should be. Let's put it that way. And cheap human hair isn't going to look better than a better synthetic, in my opinion. What happens with the lesser expensive human hair? I told you there are some places where they collect it from that you don't want to know about. Google it if you must. But the quality of the hair, often it will be so heavily processed to make it even a color anybody would want to wear that it dries out quickly within a few shampoos. So again, before you give anyone a substantial amount of money, make sure you know who you're giving it to. A few other companies I want to mention because I'm an authorized dealer for them and they aren't paying me to tell you about them. Again, if I tell you about anything, it's because I truly believe in it. Ellen Villa, beautiful products. Belle Madame, and of course, Hair You Wear and the famous Raquel Welch wigs. So overall, there's quite a bit to think about when you're purchasing human hair. Hopefully I've said something that helped you, but I know I can help you more one-on-one with any type of advice about alternative hair. The information I can give you in a consult might save you a whole bunch of money and at least a whole bunch of time. And I am available for consults no matter where you get your wigs. I can help you troubleshoot. I can help you come up with strategies to make your alternative hair life a little easier. And other things I'm qualified to do is to help you with your mindset, your overall happiness, and well-being. I'm not too hard to find. You can send me a message either through Facebook, Instagram, and the websites at verybestlittlehairhouse.com and deborahheim.com, which is under construction, but I would love to hear from you. Also, Facebook group, Wise Wig Advice and Solutions. And until next time, peace, love, and alternative hair. If you loved this episode and want to connect with me, please go to my website and drop me an email, verybestlittlehairhouse.com, so we can get in touch. And until next time, remember that you are beautiful, perfect, and loved just the way you are.